This is K2 News This Morning, on your side.
Right now at 6, let's go back to that live look from Chopper 2. You can see the convoy of big rigs on their way to rally at the state capitol in Salem this morning. It's all in protest of the cap and trade bill. As you can imagine, all of those trucks could mean some serious delays today for your commute, but we've got you covered. Thanks for waking up with us. I'm Angelica Thornton.
And I'm Brian Wood. K2 is on your side with team coverage this morning as we track those truckers. K2's Genevieve Rayome is bringing you live coverage as the rigs make their way through downtown Portland. Dan
McCarthy is at the start of the convoy in North Plains, and Mike Warner is behind the wheel of the Chevy Traverse Live Drive, bringing you live updates from the thick of it all.
But first, we do weather and traffic every 10 minutes, only here on K2 News This Morning. Here's Rhonda Shelby.
Let's start with the fact that it's really mild outside. Temperatures are starting around 49. That's our average high this time of year, and even some breaks in the clouds like from the Stoller family estate camera you see there. And today I do expect it to rain at times. We've already had reports of drizzle around the area, but I don't expect heavy rain around here. It looks like that's going to stay pretty far north of our region. 50 to start and 54 to end the day, and coming up where the snow got to be a huge problem yesterday in the region.
All right, Rhonda, thank you. We want to get right back to that massive truck convoy hitting the road right now.
Our team coverage kicks off with Mike Warner from behind the wheel of the Chevy Traverse Live Drive in the convoy. Mike?
Yeah, but definitely in the convoy. We're on 26 eastbound, just about to get down to the Vista Ridge Tunnel. I think we just passed the zoo exit, or we're just about to pass it. Oh, we just passed it. Everybody's moving over to the left lane. So what they're going to do is they're going to get on 405. They're going to go across the Fremont Bridge and down to I-5. And there's a lot of trucks, and it's causing a lot of slowing. Where I am right now, I'm guessing it's probably about 5 miles behind me of trucks with their lights on and flags, and as well as cars, too. A lot of supporters along with them. There's honking. I've seen people on overpasses. It is slowing down traffic quite a bit, if you can imagine, coming in on 26. So if you're coming this way, expect for some delays. If you're getting on the on-ramps as this convoy comes by, expect for delays with the on-ramps. There's a lot of merging issues happening. We're actually going about 33 miles an hour, so it's okay right now. It's just going to be backed up here as we go along, guys.
Definitely something you don't want to be surprised by this morning. All right, Mike, thanks. Let's go to K2's Genevieve Rayome right now. Genevieve is on the Burnside Bridge, and it looks like you're still waiting for the convoy to roll through, Genevieve.
Yeah, we are still waiting for the convoy to hit the downtown Portland area, but we're going to get a pretty good heads up as to when they're going to hit here, because first they're going to cross over the Fremont Bridge all the way back there. So we'll get a little bit of a view from them on the Fremont, and then roughly about 5 minutes later, they should be coming underneath the Burnside Bridge. We'll also be able to see Chopper 2 as well, which will give us a good indication and a heads up as to when these truckers are going to hit this area. Of course, we know they're heading down to Salem to protest cap and trade. For years, this has been debated. Architects of the plan say they feel strongly this year's version will be more palatable to rural Oregonians, i.e. many of the truckers, but those truckers tell us capping carbon emissions and requiring certain industries and companies to purchase allowances for emissions will put them out of business. So it's definitely a highly contested debate. Let's get over to Dan McCarthy, K2's Dan McCarthy in North Plains. Dan, the trucks are all gone out of that area now?
Yeah, that's right, Genevieve. Good morning. It was absolutely packed here at the way station in North Plains on Highway 26. But I want to bring back the chopper video that you've been looking at this morning. That massive line of trucks now headed down Highway 26, making its way towards you in Portland before it's going to then flip down onto I-5 southbound and go to the Capitol. And now I want to show Mike Warner's video as well from behind the wheel of the Chevy Equinox Live Drive, showing you some of the work being done as those trucks are making their way down the road. It's obviously been a very, very busy morning. They got here at around 4:30 this morning. Hundreds of trucks that we saw at this way station, and after about an hour or so, they were on the road, and now they're keeping busy. So are we. We're going to continue to monitor things from the sky and from the roadway here at K2 News, and we'll provide an update as soon as we get one. Live in North Plains this morning, Dan McCarthy, K2 News.
All right, Dan, thank you. We talked with people on both sides of this issue for Sunday's edition of Your Voice, Your Vote.
Timber Unity says it wants voters to have the final say.
Election is coming up, so a lot of people are nervous about pushing this through and the consequences of what's going to happen in the election cycle. So I really hope they just let us vote.
And I would also say that we've already voted. Oregonians overwhelmingly keep sending candidates and elected officials to Salem to take action on climate. There's a reason there's a supermajority of Democrats that ran on climate. And so voters are saying, go down and take action.
In the last legislative session, 11 Republican senators left the state to prevent a vote on the cap and trade bill. Well, there are a lot of moving pieces to this story this morning, and K2 is on your side, bringing you continuing coverage throughout your Thursday commute. And for a full explanation of this year's cap and trade bill, you can visit our website, katu.com. 4 minutes past 6 o'clock now, and jurors in the deadly Max stabbing case will not be in court today.
Instead, the judge will spend the day hearing motions filed so far in the trial. The prosecution rested its case yesterday, but we still expect about 2 more weeks of proceedings. Over the past 7 days, we've heard from witnesses and experts. Yesterday, Portland Police Detective Michelle Michaels described how victims responded to the attack.
It indicated to me that Mr. Talishan Lamkaneche never did anything and able to defend himself. He was holding these items in his hands the entire time. There wasn't anything that he did to try and rectify the situation for himself. He was defenseless.
We also heard from the families of the 2 men who died. Talishan Namkai Meche's sister talked about his passion for the environment. Ricky Best's son told jurors about his military service. The defense is expected to begin presenting their arguments on Monday. 6:05 right now. Let's take a live look at Washington, D.C., where President Trump is claiming victory.
In just about 3 hours or so, he's set to address the nation on the outcome of the impeachment trial. A split Senate voted yesterday to acquit him of both articles of impeachment, but not before things took an unexpected turn. This morning, the president is slamming Republican Senator Mitt Romney, who broke ranks with the party and voted to remove Trump from office.
What he did was not perfect. No, it was a flagrant assault on our electoral rights, our national security, and our fundamental values.
The move makes Romney the first senator in U.S. history to vote in favor of removing a president from his own party. In a new video posted to Twitter, the president accuses Romney of being a, quote, Democrat secret asset, as his son demands that Romney be expelled from the GOP.
He's not brave, he's a coward.
The president's speech to the nation is set for 9 this morning, our time.
Developing this morning, it's being described by some as a floating prison. And this morning, a local couple is among the hundreds trapped with 13 days left to go, thousands on the ship. Right now, Kent and Rebecca Frazier of Forest Grove are quarantined on the Diamond Princess off the coast of Yokohama, Japan, because of the coronavirus. They've been told to stay in their rooms for 2 weeks. Kent tells us 20 passengers on the ship have tested positive for the virus. He and his wife are trying to stay positive, but it's not easy.
Not knowing what is going to happen is just really crazy feeling. It's like never been so out of control of like what my situation is.
Both Kent and Rebecca were tested and those results were negative, but the nightmare isn't over. Once they do return to the United States, they could face additional quarantine measures.
Not only your name, address, your age, they can get your bank account a lot of times very easily and then get the money from there.
Phishing scams aren't new, but preying on growing fears of the global coronavirus scare certainly is. This morning, experts with the Better Business Bureau say cyber criminals are using the outbreak as bait to try to steal your personal data. It happens when you search for information about the illness. This includes fake emails or websites promising helpful tips or products, even reports of fake cases in your neighborhood. There are ways you can protect yourself. 1, don't open anything unusual. 2, ignore online offers for vaccines. And 3, make sure your antivirus software is up to date on your computer.
K2 Weather is brought to you by Beaverton Infinity.
Beaverton Infinity, a member of the Lamphere Auto Group. One person, one price. It's the way car buying should be.
6:08 right now. We do weather and traffic every 10 minutes here on K2 News this morning. Meteorologist Rhonda Shelby's here. Yesterday we had a little frost on the windshield. This morning we really don't even need to zip up our coats.
No, not at all. I mean, it's almost 50 degrees, but there has been an impact around some of our area in the Pacific Northwest because of the heavy rain to our north and the heavy snow that fell yesterday east. Why? Well, the snow is now turning to rain and really rapidly melting because temperatures have been up in the 40s this morning in the eastern half of the state. So we do have a flood warning for the Umatilla River especially, and that is going to see quite a bit of snow melt today. And then, of course, in western Washington, we've seen heavy rain all week. So in Lewis County, the Cowlitz River just below Mayfield Dam may rise above its banks. So we're going to see some possible minor flooding over the next couple of days there. The Wednesday snowfall was so impressive yesterday in eastern Oregon. Look at this, almost a foot in many locations. And now this is all about to melt. So thank you to Delbert for sending me this from John Day yesterday. He had 16 inches of snow, but now it's going to be all rain.
Good morning, everybody. Mike Werner on the Chevy Traverse Live Drive with your Chevy Traverse Time Saver traffic. I'm just getting off the Fremont Bridge as we follow this convoy. They just came across the Fremont Bridge from 405 north to I-5 south. They're going to start heading down towards Salem. It really isn't slowing down across the Fremont Bridge very much. We're going pretty good here, but I have a feeling as we get into the Rose Quarter area, this is going to slow down quite a bit, especially if you're coming down from Vancouver. It's going to have a residual effect up there north, so just be aware that this is coming through town and it's getting more crowded by the second. You're going to expect delays from 26 and I-5. I'm not seeing any major accidents across the area. Looks good so far, but watch out for this convoy. Just be aware that's happening.
Yeah, we wanted to position people kind of all over the place so you don't get stuck this morning. Mike's behind them. K2's Genevieve Rayom is on the Burnside Bridge where the convoy is starting to move through right now, Genevieve.
Yeah, the convoy just hit here underneath the Burnside Bridge. You can see the line of trucks. They've got their flashers on. They're easy to detect. And what I want to show you, I think if we take a look up at the Fremont Bridge here, I believe there are still some trucks, a part of that convoy, crossing the Fremont Bridge, and that would make sense because that's where Mike is. It is roughly a 5-minute drive to get from that part of the Fremont Bridge to where we are, and that should give you an idea of just how many trucks are participating in this convoy and heading down to Salem. Now, what these truckers want is they want cap and trade to be decided by the voters. They want the voters to decide what to do, not the legislators. But many of the legislators who are hoping to pass cap and trade, they say this is exactly what their job is for, to talk about these complicated issues and to decide them down in Salem. So it's going to be a pretty intense day down in Salem as these trucks make their way down there, but we'll keep an eye on this convoy, so hopefully you don't get caught up in this mess. We'll be back right after the break.